Judge Roy Moore won the Alabama Republican Senate primary earlier this week, and he won it easily. He beat incumbent Luther Strange by almost 10 points. Now, Moore won despite unrelentingly hostile press coverage, not to mention a bumpy political history. Moore has been removed twice from the Alabama Supreme Court by judicial discipline panels. People in that state's richest zip codes consider him a buffoon and maybe dangerous. Luther Strange and his allies, by contrast, had almost universal support from Republican leaders in the state and across the country, many of whom he considers friends. Luther Strange is a decent person. Nobody denies that. By some calculations, he outspent Roy Moore by 7-1. And most significant of all, Luther Strange had the enthusiastic endorsement of Donald Trump, who remains immensely popular in the state of Alabama, and yet he lost anyway. It was remarkable. What are the lessons here exactly? Well, first, it's getting harder to call the Trump phenomenon a cult of personality. Now, that may come as news to the press corps and indeed to the president himself, both of whom assume it's all about Trump's personal appeal, shooting someone on Fifth Avenue and all that. But it turns out that's not really true. If it were true, Luther Strange would be a senator right now, and the latest health care bill would be law. Trump supported both of those. His voters did not. It's now pretty clear the Trump movement is not primarily about Donald Trump. The president is popular and powerful when he's taking on the establishment of both parties, but he's diminished when he's aligned with them. The message is bigger than the man. So what's the message? Well, the same as it always was. Our elites have failed. That message resonates because it's true. For decades, the country has watched as the leaders of both parties sell them out, putting the interests of multinational corporations, D.C. lobbyists, even foreign countries ahead of the concerns of Americans. They're enraged by this, not surprisingly, and they'll consider backing almost anybody who fights back against it. That's why Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders and Roy Moore all did far better than predicted. Now, when you look closely, the three don't seem to have much in common at all. But take a few steps back. Their messages are essentially the same. The people in charge don't care about you. Try something else. It's all pretty obvious when you think about it, though for some reason virtually nobody in Washington ever seems to figure it out. They are shocked and appalled every time it happens. They wonder what's wrong with voters. They never seem to consider what's wrong with themselves.